Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakach B'Dash.
All praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakach. We are the Hebrew Israelites, and we come out here once a week to prophesy the downfall of America, which is called Babylon the Great in the Bible, and to teach you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that you are the real Israelites in the Bible.
So there's three things we got to cover: ancient Babylon, and Babylon the Great, and then the whore. Because the whore is also Babylon the Great. So those three things we got to discuss today.
That's right. And Babylon, it actually started with the word Babbel, because the word Babbel, it means confusion, and it started when it came through the line of Noah. It was Shem, Japheth, and Ham, three of Noah's sons, and then Ham had Cush, and then Cush had Nimrod. So that's the line that started the Tower of Babel. They try to build a Tower of Babel, try to make it so high up that it reached the heavens, and that's how they rebelled against the Most High. Let me get this, because it starts out right here in Genesis 11:1.
Because everything has a beginning. This is the beginning of Babylon, which I forgot to mention at first, but this is the beginning. So those are the three things, right? Because I also said that Babylon the whore and Babylon the Great Sea are the same, so that means that I mentioned two. So this brother mentioned the third. You see how we work with each other? It's a team. It's a team effort, because we're all one body.
That's right.
When we decide what we're going to talk about, it's not me and him, it's the Spirit deciding. Because one week the apostles will be talking about the Nerva Antonine dynasty, and then another week we'll be talking about Babylon the Great. So we got to stay up on studying, because Esau, which is the so-called white man, the devil, he's getting sick and tired of us being so educated, because we edify each other. The scripture says iron sharpeneth iron, so we're helping each other out, building each other up, and it's all through the Spirit, because we're edifying also the hopeful elect out there watching on the YouTube, or the people that pass by and hear within earshot, but then decide to keep walking. Maybe one day they'll come back. They'll be like, oh, these guys are out here on Fridays. Maybe I'll catch them on another one. Go ahead.
All right, so going back to the Tower of Babel. So it was Cush's son, Nimrod. Nimrod was the first one to have the first New World Order, or to have the whole one world government.
And that's what this society is doing. That's what the United States is doing. Did you guys know out there that Kim, the president of North Korea, and Donald Trump are striking an accord, or becoming friends? They're gonna bring in what's his name, Kim, and they're gonna make him part of that New World Order, which he already was. But now he's switching sides, letting everybody know, oh, I'm with Trump. And then China and Russia are gonna get fucking pissed. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? We've been supplying you with this and that, and now you're gonna stop doing this and that. Okay? That's confusion, isn't it? That's confusion. And we're talking about confusion.
Okay, so this is Genesis 11:1. Now the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Then they said to one another, come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens.
So they were getting serious about this. They were getting serious about this. They were building it. That means time, effort, resources are being wasted, utilized. That means they're getting serious. They're putting manpower behind this because time is money. What you do with your time is money. Me and this brother study a certain subject on the weekly to give it to you. That's our time, and the money is when we come out here and speak, and then someone listens, someone hears it. Because I know you guys are watching my YouTube, whether it be for scoffing purposes or real genuine, you really want to learn.
Right. And two, when it says and a tower whose top is in the heavens, and this is after the flood. This is after the flood. So they were trying to make it so high so that if God flood the earth again, they wouldn't be destroyed.
So they were trying to escape judgment.
Yep.
They were trying to escape judgment. You hear, just like Esau right now is trying to escape judgment by going up in space. They got the ISS. They're gonna colonize the moon. They're looking into Mars, which is a bunch of baloney. But they're trying to do what they've been doing before in the scriptures. And you got the scriptures online, and I got the scriptures in my hand. So he's telling you the truth, and I'm showing you the relationship between the ancient Babylon, the word Babbel, Salakia, and what they were trying to do in Babbel by building up that tower. That symbolizes what they're doing right now, building up relationships in the nations so they can have rockets and go into outer space and colonize that space situation. Because they're already selling tickets to go around orbit. They already had one person, Elon Musk had one person go and orbit the Earth. That's already starting, man. See, so they're doing crazy stuff. That's confusion. How you and it costs them like $1 million, I think. So if you got money like that, $1 million, just think about this, okay? You simple jakes out there. Esau's trying to get the hell up out of here, and he's not gonna take you. He's not trying to take you. He might take the women, but he's not trying to take the man unless you're completely passive. Go ahead.
Alright, this is Genesis 11:4. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. But Yahweh Hashem Yahushai came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built.
So he came down in what? Came down in the chariot. What's his mode of transportation? Those clouds. And see, those chariots are always going to be part of salvation and judgment. And you know, the salvation in Egypt came in the form of judgment for Egypt. And the salvation in this spiritual Egypt, see, it's all spiritual. It's spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom. It's Babylon the Great. It's Babbel. They're building the tower, and this place has to get judged. So it's gonna be burned by missiles. Go ahead.
It says, and the tower which the sons of men had built.
Okay, so it tells you that the sons of men built it. So let me tell you another difference, another distinction. There's the son of men, the son of the wicked, and the son of the Most High.
That's how you know that the son of men were wicked, right?
Yeah. So they get a pass to do that. And then there's the wicked. So there's more wicked than there is righteousness. So there was Shem, Japheth, and Ham. So those three lines are right there. The sons of the Most High, which are the first elect, Shem, and then the other two, Ham and Japheth, which are meant to serve.
And Ham came out of the sons of men.
That's right.
This is Genesis 11:6. And Yahweh said, indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language. And
one language. So they had one language. And guess what that language was? They were all trying to do the same thing. And
they were all on one page, you know.
That was the language of their nation. Who knows what they were saying?
It says, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. It says, come, let us go down and there confuse their language.
Which means split up. You know, get that word confused. Just we can get it. We can get it right. Get the song right. Get the message right. Everybody's gonna pass. Everybody's gonna pass by. Those could have been dates. Right, guys? Well, now I'm thinking to myself that there's more possibility that everybody's trying to come into the kingdom. Like I'm pretty sure that there's some people out there that are interested, but they just don't want to come up here. Like the whole thing about coming up and speaking on the streets and telling the truth is there's a lot of stigma to it. There's a lot of pressure. There is a lot of pressure, man, because when you first come out, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of fear. Like, oh man, what if I this? What if that? But the fear goes away with knowledge, and knowledge becomes faith. Because when you come out here, you know that when you come out here, you have the right, according to the United States Constitution and the First Amendment, the freedom of speech. You have a freedom to do exactly what we're doing right now. So then you start coming out, and then a cop passes by, and another cop passes by, and then a couple of months later, you don't even care that they're passing by. You don't even care that they're passing by, see? And if they came up and try to harass us, guess what? I try to convert them. I try to convert them. So now I'm at the point, man, wherever, because remember that one Edomite that was over there, we were on that street, on Harris? He came up in the wheelchair, he was, you guys are racist. So that's another stigma. We're not racist, man. We're not racist. We are not. Let any white person come up here, they'll get treated fairly by the scriptures. If the scriptures condemn you, then, you know, all right, see it. But if they call out to you and you're showing through the Spirit that you're a Jake, you're an Israelite, then we're gonna be, hey, come on in, man.
Yep.
And what would you say if there's maybe two brothers over here that look white? I mean, really look white, blonde hair and blue eyes, corn-fed motherfuckers. What would you say then? Oh, because we're not even black Hebrew Israelites, man. That's another stigma, because they got the Project Megiddo. So that means that you're a terrorist. If you're going out there and saying that you're a black Hebrew Israelite, you're saying that you're a terrorist. We're not black. We are Hebrew Israelites.
Different shades of color.
Different shades of brown, man.
Different shades of brown. This is Genesis 11:7. It says, "Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." And that word confound is Strong's 1101. And it says to mix or confuse, to mingle, to confuse. That's basically it.
See, and it's a good idea to get those words. Cause I said it was to separate. And I'm like, dang, see?
And that word's Babbel.
Because the Lord did separate them by confusing their languages. They couldn't understand each other. So they were talking in confusion. They couldn't understand each other, then they got mad at each other, and then they started separating.
Right. So if the Most High, if He was with everyone being the same, being on the same page, why would He scatter everybody and make them not understand each other? You know?
Because if you go to a different country, their ways are totally different. This country is the only country that does things this way, the metric system. You go to a different country and you say, let me get 5 inches of this sandwich. Let me get a 6-inch sandwich. And they'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Let me get a foot-long sandwich. And they'll be like, we only do centimeters here. Because I know gas is in liters. You go to Mexico, you're getting gas in liters. All over the world is liters. Some places which are accepting the ways of Babylon the Great, they do gallons. But for the most part, it's liters. Go down to a country that doesn't have anything like TV, and go to the store and ask for a gallon of milk. I remember I went to Mexico one time and my mom sent me to the store to get milk. It's not even in the fucking fridge. It's not even in the fridge, bro. It's in a little container, and then you have to drink it fast or else it goes bad. Once you open it, you have to drink it fast because it goes bad. And that's real food.
It says, so Yahweh Hashem Yahushai scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babbel, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahweh Hashem Yahushai scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
In far parts of the world, so they can get more confused. So that was the word Babel. That was the first thing we had to explain. Now we're going to get into Babylon the ancient. This is 2 Kings 24, chapter 24, verse 1. During the reign, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, moved against him, and Jehoiakim became his vassal for 3 years. Then Jehoiakim turned and rebelled against him. So right there is a clear marker in the history of the Bible and in the secular history, because it gives you two kings that you can put together. You can place this king with that king because the scripture tells you right there, crystal clear, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, moved against him, and Jehoiakim became his vassal. So a vassal is a tributary, somebody that pays you tribute. So King Nebuchadnezzar, if you don't believe in the Bible, don't look for King Jehoiakim. Look for King Nebuchadnezzar. King Nebuchadnezzar II will come up, and it'll tell you the time period and frame of Aeon, and it'll give you the era around 620 BC, because Babylon, the empire lasted from 620 BC to 539 BC, and then after that, Cyrus took over. So Babylon the ancient had an end. Okay. So now I'm going on to verse 2. Then Yahweh Hashem Yahushai loosed against him bands of Chaldeans, Arameans, Moabites, and Ammonites. He loosed them against Judah to destroy it, as Yahweh Hashem Yahushai had threatened through his servants the prophets. So they were threatening him. Well, we're threatening Babylon the Great right now. So right there it tells you again that Judah was dispersed. Judah was dispersed right there. This befell Judah because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai had stated that he would inexorably put them out of his sight for their sins Manasseh had committed in all that he did. So it tells you that Israel was way wickeder than Jerusalem at that point in time. So right there in history, it tells you. You look up King Nebuchadnezzar, and it will tell you just what I said a while ago. That his kingdom ended. It didn't even last 100 years. It didn't even last 100 years. So that was a short kingdom. You got any research? I'm in 2 Kings chapter 24.
I'll get this about Nebuchadnezzar. He's talking about Nebuchadnezzar. This is Jeremiah 25:9. It says, "Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, declares Yahweh Shimi Hawashi, and I will send to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against its inhabitants, and against all these nations round about."
So who's the north? Northern kingdom.
And it says, "And I will utterly destroy them and make them a horror and a hissing and an everlasting desolation." So that was the ancient Babylon, right?
Yeah, that's ancient Babylon right there. So the prophets, and every time a kingdom is about to go down, Yahweh Shemi Hawashi sends his prophets to that particular area in the earth to pronounce and prophesy its downfall. So the apostles started that over there on the East Coast. And now it's coming all the way over here. And now every part of this wicked society and country has to get an ear of it, so that the vibration is full, so that the wave is bouncing off every wall and hitting every ear. So now we're prophesying this downfall, which tells you that this is Babylon the Great, and we're going to prove that next. This is verse 4, 2 Kings chapter 24 and verse 4. "And especially because of the innocent blood he shed, with which he filled Jerusalem, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will not forgive." So the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim, with all that he did, are written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Judah. Jehoiakim rested with his ancestors, and his son Jehoiachin succeeded him as king. The king of Egypt did not again leave his own land, for the king of Babylon had taken all that belonged to the king of Egypt, from the Wadi of Egypt to the Euphrates River. So now it tells you where on earth ancient Babylon was.
In between the rivers, right?
Yeah, man. The Arabian Peninsula. So it tells you what king to look up in history. So if you find Nebuchadnezzar, then you know that that's the time, age, and frame where Jehoiakim was. So you can place the kingdom of the Israelites right there, and at that time and place where you place the king of Nebuchadnezzar in his Babylonian kingdom.
And in the ancient Babylon, Nimrod, he was actually his mother was his wife.
That's fucking bullshit.
You know, because her name was
Semiramis.
Yeah, Semiramis. She was the mother and wife of Nimrod. So what the hell?
Hey, so what happens when I know for a fact in humans, because the Bible tells us again what the daughters did, the Lot's daughters. You want to look for that? Lot and his daughters? Because when you're talking about Nimrod had his mother as his wife, we're going to explain to you what happens when incest occurs. At the same time, we explain what incest is through biblical ways. You will also find out who Moab and Ammon are right now. See how the spirit works, man, and we're jam-packing, man, dude. I feel great, man. Because a little bit of this living water will refresh your body, man. Give you a new set of ways to follow. Give you a new spirit, a new body. Well, you're not going to get a new body until the kingdom, but your body will feel different. Everybody will be like, man, you're different. Something about you. You're different.
Like your spirit feels like more awake, like more clear or something.
Like you're paying attention more. But also you have to start changing your diet. So if you're gonna come in and say you're an Israelite, you gotta stop eating that pork. Follow the laws.
Because that messes with your pineal gland, right?
Yep. And
the pineal gland is what controls your wake and sleep cycle. You know, how fast you could go to sleep or how fast you could wake up. Because some people, they'll wake up all groggy and stuff, and that means that their pineal gland's not working good.
Let me explain how I will. I go to sleep slow. So I watch TV and shit, and then I laugh or do whatever, and then I go to sleep. But I wake up, boom, like that, and I can't go back to sleep, and I'm up, and hey, I go take care of my stuff, my business. I gotta take a dookie, shower, get ready for my work. I get up like that, boom.
Damn. That's because the calcium, it'll calcify that pineal gland, right?
They'll put a cover over it, and you won't get the signal.
It's blocking that signal.
So you got to learn how to get your signal out there. You got to decalcify your pineal gland. Stop eating acidic foods. Alkalize your body.
Yeah, Pepsi and Coke, that shit's bad for you.
It's real bad for you, especially if you have it every day. If you have that stuff consistently,
It's bad for your stomach.
that's why Babylon promotes a bad diet. That's confusion, right? If America's so great, why are they promoting an unhealthy diet? Why do they sell sodas out here? That's just poison. And they sell energy drinks, sports drinks. Man, that shit has so much fucking bad things in your, and that messes up your pineal gland and messes up all your other organs too. So if you're gonna be in the truth, you gotta have what's it called? A healthy pineal gland, and you gotta be able to get good sleep so you can get recharged.
Because following that dietary law, it's gonna give you better health.
Guaranteed.
That's why our people have
Yes,
problems with their health, because they don't follow the dietary law.
I see Jake coming into the office, huffing and puffing, shaking and shit. Man, it's terrible, man. It's because their diet. They got diabetes, they don't want to stop eating pork. Always going on workman's comp. You got more?
So you want to go into Lot's daughters?
Yeah, let's go into that.
This is Genesis 19 and 30. And Lot went up out of Zor and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zor. And he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters.
So that tells you a couple of things. Lot is leaving Sodom and Gomorrah because it just got fucked up. It just got hit with nuclear devastation through the chariots. It got hit with the lasers from the so-called UFOs. It got fucked up, just like this place, so-called America, is gonna get fucked up. And if you're still in that mind frame that you're living in a good place, man.
Right, because this is Babylon reincarnated.
So right now it tells you that Lot was fearing from his life, so you go to a cave. So we put those Edomites in caves once we took them out of a certain area. So they went into the caves and lived there because they feared us. So that lets you know that. Okay, when you run away from a situation, you go to the mountains. Okay, when Christopher Columbus came and destroyed all the fucking things, some Israelites went into the mountains and survived. And it tells you also, in 2 Kings, no, 1 Kings, I think, when the Lord set up Hadad the Edomite, first he sent him into Egypt. So you know that's how you survive. So this is the beginning of Moab and Ammon. But also we're bringing this up because Nimrod, we're talking about Nimrod, had his mother as his wife. Okay,
So it says, and the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth.
Because right now Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed, and the devastation was so powerful that they think that there is nobody else on the planet. Because at that time, you didn't have what you have right now known as satellites. Satellites can go all over the earth, orbit it, take pictures of it, and it'll tell you you're at this place, you're at that place, and that proves that the earth is round. It'll tell you, all right. And that's how they found Mount Ararat. There was a satellite going, and the Mount Ararat is where they found Noah's Ark. And Mount Ararat, they found it because they had a satellite searching for shit. Esau knows, man. Come on, this is his worst nightmare. And look it, nobody's out here, and it's still his worst nightmare. But you're out there.
Also, the daughters of Babylon, they could have been thinking wickedly too, you know.
They had to. They had to.
They probably knew, you know. There's probably still somebody on earth or something. Maybe. Well, let's see what it says. It says, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him.
Get him drunk so that he can just pass out, and they can use his rod to get impregnated.
That we may preserve seed of our father.
Okay, so that tells you yet another thing. There's another little tidbit. The seed of the father is important because women don't provide no seed. A line doesn't continue with the woman.
I think that word seed,
Yeah, get it.
it's a semen or something.
So right now we're talking about Nimrod, and he wifed his mother, and we're going to tell you what happens with incest. Listen to that sirens. That lets everybody in the hood know someone just got fucked up. Someone's going to jail.
So it says, come let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him that we may preserve seed of our father. So it's not talking about the actual seed, right?
Like he's fucking Johnny Appleseed and he has fucking avocado seeds and shit.